You're not exhausted, you're underactivated. Niyama Shang here. Welcome to today's Outliers Edge Live. I am excited to talk to you about a new revelation that's been coming up for me. I say it's new, but I often find that we often need to be reminded more of than we need to be taught. And so today, the reminder here is around momentum comes from playing, not from preparing. Ironically, or maybe it's unironic, but I had this an hour ago, and I'm like, "All right, let me come in here." I have a format in which I like to present the ideas so that there's some kind of structure behind it, and it took me about an hour to get the 3 bullets that I wanted to come in here, to bring in. So, what I will say is during that time, it did not feel like we were that there was momentum that was taking place, but I see the game that's happening. I see how it all lines up. So just know that as we go through this here, we're like this is real and it happens in real time. And as much as we put this out here as a place to lean into and have for yourself, know that like we're gonna just it's gonna be an ongoing process. So during this live experience, buckle up because you'll catch the endless pregame routine where refining, organizing, and upgrading keep you moving, but never in the match, never in the game itself, right? So what you'll be able to catch your endless pregame routine. You'll also be able to expose the perfect build fantasy that convinces you one more adjustment will eliminate the risk of real contact. Oh, that hurts when I say it out loud because y'all, when I come up with these bullets, they're not just like ideas that come up. It's me taking a look at what's happening for me and my clients in real time, and my clients and the members of the Outliers Edge world. Like I come and I look at this all, and I'm like, oh, like this is what's happening. So we're gonna catch the endless pregame routine. We're gonna expose the perfect build fantasy, and we're gonna enter live play mode where momentum, clarity, and edge emerge from real rounds, real stakes, and real interaction. All right. This is the game for today. So let's start off here with where this all came from. Y'all may not know this, but I play Magic the Gathering. I play Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering. I've gone fully into it in the last few years. It's something I got to do with some of the parents in the neighborhood, and honestly, it's become a hobby that I really enjoy because it's been creative and beyond. Well, I went to go play it last night, and when I got back, I realized something. I was like, I had a lot of fun with this. I realized I had spent a lot of money on it. I've spent a lot of time at it. Like go at the after I put the kids to bed, I run out to go to a local store to go play. I lost every single game, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. Like y'all, we got to the point where someone looked at the card and asked for clarification and just said like, "Well, is there a period on the card or not?" Right? And there's something in there where I was like, "Wow, I really geeked out about this." I really had a good time. I'm looking forward to figuring out how I can like reconstruct my deck or what I should be doing about it, so on and so forth. And it got me thinking about that level of excitement and joy that I was feeling, even when I was taking a beating in that case. Um, and I realized I'm like, why isn't this in my business right now? What would happen? And like, I think that's one frame of it. That was the first question. Why isn't this in business? But then the next question came up because we up level here in Outliers Edge. Like the next question came up and it was like, what would it be like if I could experience this kind of joy in my business again? What if I can experience this kind of joy through the Outliers Edge world as we are creating it? Right. And there was something in there where it felt less heavy to go through it, but rather more like this element of like I didn't I knew I was just gonna come back again in a week, 2 weeks, whatever, however much it is, and either play the same deck and have a lot of fun or make improvements and have a lot of fun. Like even with the same deck, I could go back and play again and know that this time I'm playing it differently. And I was asking myself, I'm like, what is this? What does this feel like? What is this thing that can have me have this drive with the game that when I feel sometimes when I come in to do the work, it ends up being like there's just stuff to get done. And that's where I started to like really explore this and recognize a number of different things here. And the biggest thing is that like I'd stopped playing. I don't have a game that I'm playing right now. I have a vision that that's being created, but there isn't a game to be played. And for any of you outliers out there, like for me, the thing is game. So I'm going to talk today about game, and game and playing. But I want you to think about this here from like, what is the thing that brings you joy? What brings you, what makes things fun? What are the things that bring you into flow? And how can you construct the work to be done in a way that actually puts you, that aligns with that flow? The way that I look at it is, how can you do it in such a way that the work gets done anyway, but for you, it was play. For you, it brought you joy, right? And so, what ended up happening, what happens instead when I'm not in that flow, when I'm not in that joy, I took a look at it. I'm like, oh, I'm tweaking things. I'm imagining the perfect scenarios and trying to get them right, protecting myself from having to go out into the real world and just being in this place where we'll call it the endless pregame routine, right? This element of trying to like I'm calibrated because it's easy for me to come on live and just hit like record and go. I want it to be a better experience for everyone, and so I'm trying to do more. I've heard like, oh, if you prepare more in advance, then it makes the entire experience that much more cohesive. And I don't know if I need to prepare though, and I for years I pushed off that. I'm like, I don't need it, and now I'm exploring to see if my next level comes from this level of preparation, or if it's really more about like my next level comes from hit and record, getting into the game with you all, and then like having a really great up purpose and team afterwards that can help codify what we're doing in a meaningful way, and maybe even hiring someone to do all this thinking for me and help me come in with the aligned version of preparation beforehand. So we'll see. But the I'm using this live stream as a meta example, like it's happening in real time. But in addition to what's happening with the live stream, like there's also this part of me that recognizes that it's happening with the business overall. So right now, I've been working on two streams for the business, and I'm so excited for it, y'all. In fact, I think like I need to share it out in the world more. So we have the Outliers Edge World, which is our membership. There's a free level to start out with, but then like I get excited. I get to coach and lead and facilitate amazing, extraordinary individuals to up level who they are, their identity, as well as up level the way that they show up in their business overall, right? And so we have those two things going on inside of the Outliers Edge world. You can, if you want to go check it out, you can come in and join us for free. It's school.com/outlier. We meet every week in that space, and like I challenge thinking, but it's more than thinking. I challenge being, and we grow. We hold a high standard in there. So I get really excited to be in that space. But I realize that like every time I get to the edge of inviting people, I find a new project to do. Every time I get to the edge of saying, come and really be in here, outside of me sharing it with you all in this live streams, like I there's some other active work that could be done. And I find myself like slowing myself down. And instead I get into another pregame routine of, well, maybe now this needs to be there, or this video should be here, or this system needs to be in place. And I want to make sure that like you can take some time for yourself to just slow down and catch it and be like, where in your life right now are you entering into a pregame? Maybe I should say that differently. Where in your life are you entering into an endless pregame routine? There we go. Um, where are you refining? Where are you organizing? Where are you like upgrading, but not actually bringing it out into the world for it to be seen and exposed and experienced? If you have any example of that, put that into the chat right now. Go ahead and put that into the comment. Whether you're watching this live or in the replay, like let us know. We'll keep interacting with you on this here and growing. But the first thing I always find is to grow the awareness. Next, then, there's part of what happened underneath this is what I call the perfect build fantasy, where it's like if you just make one more adjustment, it will come out and work out. And right now, so I was having a conversation with my AI, and one of the things that it got exposed as I was looking at this, like I want this to be more like a game. Like why can't I make the business feel more like a game? Why can't I make it feel more play? Sorry, not the highest level. What would it look like if I made it more play? What would it look like if I made the business more like a game? Like, what's the game I want to play? Like, even the live stream started out with 10K live, right? 10,000 minutes live in 6 weeks, and especially right now because I know that my next edge is in inviting and holding these spaces for a while. Let me put it another way. Right now, doing these live streams, it's easy for me because this is solo player mode. I can just come on and talk. Right. I only have to hold my energy and I can bring it out there. But the entering multiplayer mode requires me getting putting myself at requires vulnerability. Let me uh let's see. reputational vulnerability in terms of inviting people in and being like, what will people think? Like, will they even accept it? Financial vulnerability where it's like, all right, now I have to go and put in more financially, and then hopefully later on it comes back. A vulnerability in terms of like, this is a vision and dream that I've had. I've had like this Saturday Night Live idea in my mind for a very long time. Like, well, what if it doesn't work? So it's like it's inviting a lot of vulnerability, and as a result, I'm entering into a fantasy around the perfect build. All right, where in your world are you doing that? Let me ask you this: what's the vulnerability that you're trying to avoid, and as such you're putting in all these other structures, or you're basically doing everything else, you're avoiding it. I call it procrastination, right? It's not procrastination. You're not like sitting down doing nothing, but you're progressing on things that don't actually move the needle, right? And so for me, I got caught in this like perfect build fantasy that if I got all these things right, I'll like I can just line it up and have hundreds of conversations and so on and so forth. Where the reality is that like I got to be out there. I got to like I recognize the parallel with the game I play is Magic the Gathering. So I recognize that like I had this 100 card commander deck, and I had done all these research about all these cards and how the synergies would work and where the engines would be and so on and so forth. But I got obliterated the last few times I played it with other people who had been doing this too. And it's because like no matter how much I thought about what the build would look like, what the perfect like iteration would be, um, it was it, I hadn't tested it out in the real world, right? And that's where the live play mode comes in. Like being in there and saying, okay, we have a structure, we have something in place. It's good enough. Let's go and see how it works out in the real world. And then come back and be like, oh, that worked, that didn't work, so on and so forth. And so I know this. I've read like the lean startup. I'm like I prefer agile work to like traditional project management. But my left to myself, I tend to create with this level of like, let me get it right first, and then I will come and bring it out into the world, and then I will make adjustments from there. But I know it's not. I know it's already not good. So why would I go and share it with people yet? All right, and I think that like I think that like these live streams end up being like a microcosm of it, because it's like I didn't know what I was going to say 13 minutes ago. I had an idea overall. I knew what I wanted to bring out, but this is not scripted, right? This is coming from like it's being channeled and shared, and I think that that's what live play does. That's what it gets you out into the world, and allows you to really tap into like the magnificence of you, really, to tap into that magnificence and bring that out into the world, to see just how agile you are, to see just how creative you are, and to give yourself a real opportunity. As I say this, like I can feel my own energy rising. I'm like, oh yeah, like why wouldn't I want this? Like, like why am I not going for this more often? And so, like that, this component here, for anyone here, like let's bring in the play again. Let's go create the momentum versus trying to get it right, and be in the place where we get the clarity from actually being out in the world, doing another rep and trying in here. Now, here's something I think is really important, and we're gonna wrap up for today. This applies even and especially while you're up leveling. And so right now, going back to the game analogy, I realized after talking to my AI, I was like, oh, here goes the deal. I have this massive vision in my mind, and let's call that the level 50 boss. And I'm trying to go to the level 50 boss as a level 7 like player. I don't have the experience points. I don't have the equipment. I don't have the team. I'm coming in like a tunic and like a wooden shield, but I don't have like the magic spells. Like I don't have what's necessary right now to make that level 50 boss like victory kind of inevitable, rather than versus like being knocked out with the first opening ring when they step down, and it's just like dust sprays and I'm out of the game. So that's been a really helpful element to see, because it's like I think this is where that perfect build fantasy comes into play. It's like, hey, right now I'm trying to find the perfect build, based on the wooden shield and the tunic that I have, not like the full on armor and like whatever else comes out afterwards, like the mystical items and everything like that I haven't even given myself a chance to learn, or to be or the people around me that would support actually being able to take this thing on. And I think that there's there's a level of recognizing like what happens with organizing that I'm breathing into and slowing down and seeing. And part of the way to like get there, I'm looking at it and saying it's really about just building the momentum and getting yourself into play and allowing yourself to gain the experience points from there. So I'm gonna end this here. I'll make this real. Like we'll keep sharing it. You're gonna see me come onto these streams in a bit of a different capacity coming soon. Starting yeah, coming soon. Uh, just based on the opportunities that the game that I really want to be playing. All right. And so what's going to be happening here is I'm going to be trying to move into at a minimum 3 hour lives every single day. I really like to get to 6 hours, and the 6 hour lives are going to be us coming together and bringing in a master class for the first 3 hours of it. So from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Pacific time. So that's 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern time. Like we're going to be having on different outliers who are truly exceptional in their fields and bringing them on to have a conversation that stretches them, that up levels them, and also cross pollinates really like different ideas. So look out for that. If you want to come be a part of that, you can come. Like we give people who are they're held as live sessions, and we take on live questions and so on and so forth. So if you're in the Outliers Edge world over on school, you can come and join us live during that and ask your questions live. It's gonna be really fun. So we're gonna do that like 3 days a week, and sorry, that's not true. 3 hours a day, 5 days a week will be there. And then I also want to give and this is something that feels like I can feel my eye like coming down, but this feels like the opportunity I've been missing or been longing for. That's what it is. The opportunity I've been longing for, which is to get back into creating like up leveling workshops where I bring on probably like 1 to 4 people, 1 to 3 people, probably generally, for an hour long workshop on where we do live hot seat coaching right there, plus some facilitation because there's things that happen in a group that can't happen other places. And my goal would be to do 3 hours of those a day too. So it'd be 9 to 12. I'll talk all this in Pacific time, but 9 to 12 we're doing the masterclass sessions, masterclass roundtables, and then from 1 to 4 we are doing the actual hot seat coaching, which will be the outlier workshops. And so that's like the hot seat workshops. It's called that for now. As you can see, names are work in progress. But that's the game, right? And there's I have to work around clients and different existing things, but realistically, I kind of look at it like a game of basketball or baseball. Like after that, like that's just the game. Like there isn't. We know what the rules are, and now the game becomes how many reps can I do. I was thinking about this within the context of the like what would it be like to make the business feel more like play, to make it more into a game. And one of the things I realized I was like I need a way to win. Business is an infinite game, so it's not like I have to create my short term wins, and I don't really get it from establishing something and getting something from A to Z. That kind of that's okay. I feel that feels cool, but the real win for me is I'm like, oh wow, like how many players can I bring into the Outliers Edge game? How many players can I have in here? What caliber of those players, what caliber can those players be? What if I didn't have to be the referee and the umpire and the player pitching the ball and the player hitting the ball? Like, what if I had like a team and like, how would that look like if we kept doing it? And like, one of the things that came up was like this shift from working to see like how do I become so powerful that anyone who enters my room like is able to get something incredible and really centered around me, and instead become like how do I become an architect of rooms and make sure that every room is powerful with or without me, right? Every room in Outliers Edge world, and everything we do in this Outliers Edge world before we even get into the Outliers Edge universe coming soon. But how do we make that actually take place? And so that game becomes really fun for me. That game becomes like that's something where I realized that like, oh, being in the endless pregame routine, like that's never gonna get me. I can't actually play. I can't actually get better. I can't actually do the reps of what's necessary. And so I invite you all to look for yourself here and see, like, all right, what is the endless pregame routine you're finding yourself in? Where what is the perfect build fantasy that has allowed you to stay exactly where you are and kept you from leveling up to the next level? And what would it be like for you to enter live play mode, like today, this minute? This like what would it be like to just enter into the game? Put another way, what's a game worth playing? I've been really enjoying that. What's a game worth playing to you? Uh, right now, this is what it is for me, and I feel really excited to bring out this, to bring out these new programs, to play out with you all here, and move from just sharing like what's coming through me. I think, and really just create hundreds of hours of collisions with awesome people who don't know each other, who are building and creating greatness out in the world, and then having an opportunity to come together to both cross pollinate and up level with one another. That feels really good. This is where, like, I feel like I moved from being a coach to being a Sherpa to being a facilitator. Like that's the game for me. That's really the game. All right. Put in any comments you have here. Would love to hear from you. If there's anything you want to hear me speak about, if there's anything that you're finding when you're like running and saying like, "Hey, I'm looking up level and I'm finding myself caught in a new level of friction," go ahead and speak to that. Okay. Let me know, and I will create videos around it. Or we'll make different like conversations take place. All right. All right. And again, if you want to go practice this, if you want to practice being in play, you want to you want to just keep building the momentum of you as you're up leveling, then come join us inside of the Outliers Edge world. You can go to school.com/outlier and start a free membership there. And if you want to come join us for some of our private sessions, things that aren't being done out here publicly, you can come and you can join us. You'll have the option to come join us for that too. All right. All right. I will catch you later on. Until the next time we talk, be you on purpose.